Okay, I got cut off there due to space. We'll resume our discussion. And I was talking about the discussion board modules. Fundamentally, you need to go on. There's going to be a series of questions per module. You need to answer each question in a reasonable amount of space. I'm not looking for major essays, but a good paragraph, give or take. Some of them are easier to answer more briefly than are others. And then you need to respond per module to at least 2 of your colleagues' statements. So say there's 4 questions. That means in a given module, then that should mean at least 6 posts at a bare minimum in that module. Your 4 responses and your 4 responses to my questions, and 2 responses to your colleagues. Let's talk about the course outline and the way the course is broken down, what the basic purpose of the class is. The course is broken down into 6 modules, which are not necessarily of a co-equal length, but they're topically delineated. And the outline dictates roughly how you should approach the materials. Module 1 should be your first 2 weeks roughly of class, which is the Ingersoll text and a series of shorter readings from the internet, or at least housed on the internet. Various readings from Locke, Hobbes, Marx, etc. This section looks at sort of the philosophical underpinnings of IR theory and ideology, which I'll talk more about in the Module 1 lectures. Each module has readings, discussion board questions as noted, and also has some form of lecture, sometimes audio only, sometimes video, sometimes in conjunction with PowerPoints, depending on the topic at hand. Now, the exact schedule is somewhat up to you. I mean, you have 9 weeks total. This is going to include a final examination and a research paper, which you're going to have to, delegate yourself time to accomplish, and the readings. So while I've got you a rough schedule, clearly the first module is maybe the longest in terms of actual pages read, and I've allocated 2 weeks for that, plus assuming a little bit of getting settled in. And we have to remember that while this is a 9-week term, it's the same amount of work that would be in a normal 15-week semester, meeting 3 hours a week in class and all that goes along with it. So there's a great deal of compression, which is why I recommend in other places in the course that you not take more than 1 class at a time unless you have an extraordinary amount of time at your disposal. So I've got a rough reading schedule. If you don't quite conform to it, that's perfectly fine. You just have to recognize the time will run out at some point. And we have an overview section of theory and philosophy. We have an overview section of our theory, which should be at least in part a refresher from material from 5551. And then I'm going to focus heavily on the 3 major schools of IR theory in some detail: realism, liberalism, and constructivism, as well as looking at what used to be the 3rd most significant and now is perhaps a distant 4th, but still significant, sort of one you should be familiar with, which is sort of Marxist or class-based variants of IR theory. So, the anticipation is, as you read these materials, be prepared to discuss them online, submit questions to me or to your colleagues as you see fit, and also to be working through the proposed exam questions, which are listed under exam and quizzes, and be working through those so that when the exam comes, you're prepared. This course should also help you very much, not only as a foundational segment of your study in IR for your degree and your other courses, but also should function as a substantial preparation for your comprehensive exams. Not every question, every component, but really in many ways this is the most foundational class after 5551 that you're going to have. So this all needs to be taken into consideration. So the bottom line is, look around, get familiar, feel free to ask me questions. If the questions are of a general nature, please post them to the discussion section that's adequate in the question section so that other people can read the responses as well. I mean, if you're having a problem with just sort of basic procedures or whatever the case may be, other people may have the same questions, and people can look and see what's already been answered. If it's a personal issue in regards to your grade or other issues that are specific to you, feel free to just email me, and I try to be fairly rapid in my responses. And if we need other modes of communication, that can be handled as well. And I think that sort of completes the overview, basically. So please review everything, and good luck in class. I'll see you online, right?